Hello, my dear little shining stars. How are you all? I hope you all are doing really very well. So, in our today's class, what we are going to see? We are going to start your English book. Okay, but before proceeding further, now we are going to see in how many units your English book is divided. Okay, so here, as you can see, your English book is divided into total 7 themes. Okay, in total 7 units and as well as in total 13 chapters. Okay, now let's see. So your first unit, okay, so the first unit theme is based on wit and whimsical. Okay, in this we are going to study 2 chapters, chapter number 1 and chapter number 2, the ransom of Red Chief, the tale of Custard the dragon. Now the unit 2 theme, Twilight Whispers, chapter number 3, the signal man, chapter number 4, Two's company. Okay, and now our unit 3. Okay, and the theme on which our unit 3 is based is embracing individuality and uniqueness. Okay, here we are going to see chapter number 5, there can be only one. Chapter number 6, moment of vision. Okay, now unit number 4, and the theme of unit number 4 is scenes from childhood. Chapter number 7, the umbrella man. Chapter number 8, the children's hour. Okay, now unit number 5, and the theme on which unit number 5 is divided is unbreakable bond. Okay, here we are going to see chapter number 9 and chapter number 10, and the name of chapter number 9 is Rajam and Money. Okay, and chapter number 10, the arrow and the song. Unit number 6, and the theme on which unit number 6 is based is pioneers of courage. Okay, here my dear student, we are going to see a very important chapter. Chapter number 11, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. I hope you all know who was he. Okay. Chapter number 12, to fight aloud is very brave. Okay. And the last unit in which your English book is divided is guiding lights. This is the theme of your unit number 7, and the chapter number 13 is guiding lights. Okay. So my dear student, now we are going to start your English book with chapter number 1, which is present in unit number 1, and theme is wits and whimsical. Okay, now come with me and let's start reading your chapter number 1. Okay, my dear student, here you can see the name of your chapter is The Ransom of Red Chief. Okay, see, the ransom of Red Chief. The Ransom of Red Chief is a fine example of O. Henry's use of irony. My dear student, this chapter is written by O. Henry. I hope you all know who was O. Henry. Okay, a very famous American poet and as well as writer. Okay, in this chapter, my dear student, you are going to see the perfect use of irony. Okay, used by O. Henry. Okay, this chapter is first published in the Saturday Evening Post, which was published in 1902. Okay, Bill and Sam sure didn't anticipate the lesson they learned. Crime sure doesn't pay. In fact, it will cost you plenty. That's absolutely right. Okay, see, this chapter is based on 2 kidnappers, or you can see 2 thieves named as Bill and Sam. Actually, they got a very good life lesson of their life. Okay, this chapter is totally based on kidnapping. Okay, you can see it is also a kind of comedy. Okay, here you are going to see how once a kidnapper, okay, how once a kidnapper now begging in front of that boy who was kidnapped by both Bill and Sam, please leave us. Okay, we are going to give money to your father that he came and take that cue. Okay, now come with me and let's see the chapter. Read and understand. See, it looked like a good thing, but wait till I tell you. We were down south in Alabama, Bill Driscoll and myself, when this kidnapping idea struck us. It was, as Bill afterward expressed it, during a moment of temporary mental appreciation, but we didn't find that out till later. See, this story starts from Alabama. Alabama is a state present in the United States of America. Okay, here two thieves lived, okay, and the name of those two thieves is Bill and Sam, okay. So idea struck in their mind, and the idea which is struck in their mind is that they are going to kidnap, okay, they are going to kidnap a little boy, okay. Now see, there was a downtown there as flat as a flannel cake and called Summit. Of course it contained inhabitants of a undeleterious and self-satisfied a class of peasantry as were clustered around a maypole. Okay, now both Sam and Bill decided that we are going to kidnap, okay, we are going to kidnap anyone, okay, to receive a handsome amount of money in return, okay. So they made a plan, okay, and that's why they are going to search an area where they can find a lot of people, okay, and among those lot of people they are going to kidnap any one of them, okay, for their own personal need, okay. So here you can see they are searching, they are going in the center of Alabama state, and in the center of that Alabama state a lot of rich people resides, okay. Now what do you think? You have to think about it. See, Bill and me had a joint capital of about $600 and we needed just $2,000 more to pull off a fraudulent town lot scheme in Western Illinois with. Okay, now see, Bill and Sam combinedly they have a net worth of $600 million, but still they need 2,000 extra dollars. Okay, they need 2,000 extra dollars. So for this extra $2,000, they planned this whole kidnapping scenario. Okay, we talked it over the front steps of the hotel. Okay, now Bill and Sam both are crossing. Okay, both are crossing the street, and on that street a hotel was present. Philoprositiveness says we strong in semi-rural communities, therefore and for other reasons a kidnapping project ought to do better than there in the radius of newspapers that send reporters out in plain clothes to stir up talk about such things. We know that Summit couldn't get after us with anything stronger than constables and maybe some lackadaisicals, bloodhounds, and a diatribe or two in the weekly farmer's budget, so it looked good. Now see, Bill and Sam, they are thinking, okay, if we are going to kidnap anyone and in return of that person we are going to ask $2,000, okay, so this is not going to make a huge scandal in Illinois, okay, it is not going to make a huge scandal because see, police is not going to do anything, okay, they are only going to send some constable behind us or maybe some dogs. Here you can see, my dear student, what is the meaning of lackadaisical bloodhound? It means dogs. You all know police have a dog, okay, police have a dog, but they are well trained dogs. But here in this case these dogs are untrained, they are not fully trained, okay. So Bill and Sam both are thinking that if we are going to kidnap anyone and we are going to demand a ransom amount of $2,000, then police is not going to take this case seriously, okay. Only they are going to send few constable behind us and as well as few untrained dogs, okay. That's why Bill and Sam are totally unaffected and now they are planning a very good idea about kidnapping. See, we selected for our victims the only child of a prominent citizen named Ebenezer Dorset, okay. Now Bill and Sam, they selected a boy, okay, that this boy is going to be kidnapped by us, and the father of that boy is Ebenezer Dorset. Ebenezer Dorset is a prominent citizen in Alabama state, okay. The father was respectable and tight, a mortgage fancier and a stern upright collection plate passer and forecloser. You can see Mr. Dorset was a very respected person in Alabama state, okay. Even he also provide finance, okay, he also provide finance to the needy people, and in return they keep mortgage, okay, in the form of their houses in front of Ebenezer Dorset. That's why Mr. Dorset was a very wealthy person of Alabama state, but in the center area of Alabama state, okay. The kid was a boy of 10 with bas relief freckles and hair the color of the cover of the magazine you buy at the newsstand when you want to catch a train. Bill and me figured that Ebenezer would melt down for a ransom of $2,000 to a cent. But wait till I tell you. Okay, now these two criminals, these two kidnappers, Bill and Sam, they planned that we are going to kidnap the 10-year-old son of Mr. Dorset. Okay, but still, here a twist, and here a twist come in the form. Now you're going to see further in this chapter. See, about 2 miles from summit was a little mountain covered with a dense cedar brake. On the rear elevation of this mountain was a cave. There we stored provision. Now both Bill and Sam, they started their journey to kidnap that boy. Okay, here you can see they are riding on a horse carriage. Okay. One evening after sundown, we drove into a buggy past old Dorset house. Okay, so one evening, both Bill and Sam went to Mr. Dorset house. The kid was in the street throwing rocks at a kitten on the opposite fence. Okay, and now both Bill and Sam saw that Mr. Dorset, 10-year-old boy, okay, he was playing on the street and he was throwing stones on the kittens. Hey, little boy, says Bill, would you like to have a bag of candy and have a nice ride? Okay, so here you can see Bill said, hey, little boy, okay, can you please come here and would you like to taste this candies? They are very yummy in taste. The boy catches Bill neatly in the eye with a piece of brick. But you know what? This little boy was very mischievous. Okay, immediately he threw a piece of a stone in the direction of Mr. Bill. Okay, that will cost the old man an extra $500, says Bill, climbing over the well. Now Bill was frustrated. Bill was totally irritated. Okay, he immediately said, now we are going to demand total $2,500 from Mr. Dorset. An extra $500 for what? Because Mr. Dorset's son thrown a stone in the direction of Mr. Bill. That boy put up a fight like a welterweight cinnamon bear. But at last we got him down in the bottom of the buggy and drove away. We took him up to the cave and I hitched the horse in the cedar brake. After dark, I drove the buggy to the little village 3 miles away where we had hired it and walked back to the. Okay, so to kidnap this little boy was not a very easy task. Okay, the kidnapping of this boy was not a cup of tea for Mr. Bill and for Mr. Sam, because that boy was very mischievous. He was throwing a lot of tantrums. Okay, but at the end of the day, both Mr. Bill and Mr. Sam was succeeded in kidnapping that boy. Okay, so my dear student, here you can see buggy. What is the meaning of buggy? Horse carriage was called as buggy. Okay, we also call them as a buggy. Okay, so here you can see Bill was taking this little boy in this horse carriage. Bill was pasting counter plaster over the scratches and brushes on his features. There was a fire burning behind the big rock at the entrance of the cave, and the boy was watching a pot of boiling coffee with 2 buzzard tail feathers stuck in his red hair. He points a stick at me when I come up and says, "Ha, cursed paleface, do you dare to enter the camp of Red Chief?" The terror of the plains. Okay, so here you can see actually Bill was hurt. Okay, when that little boy thrown a stone in the direction of Mr. Bill, Bill was hurt. Okay, now when Bill and Sam are succeeded in carrying that boy in horse carriage, now Bill was sitting. Okay, Bill was sitting and he was putting some ointment on his fractures or on his injured places. Okay, so okay, and where they are sitting, there was a fire. Okay, there was a fire burning in the cave, and that cave was behind their palace. Okay, here that boy came in front of them and stood and said, "Oh, you two fear-faced people, okay, can you please tell me how you dare to enter in the palace of Red Chief?" Okay, He is all right now, says Bill, rolling up his trousers and examines some brushes on his shins. We are playing Indian. We are making Buffalo Bills shows look like magic lantern views of Philistine in the town hall. I am old Hank, the trapper, Red Chief's captive, and I am to be scalped at daybreak by Geronimo. That kid, that kid can kick hard. Okay, now see. Sam was totally surprised. Okay, Sam was totally surprised at why Bill and that boy is performing in this way in front of them. Okay, immediately Bill understood that Sam was totally confused by viewing this kind of scene in front of him. Okay, so immediately Bill said, "Listen, Sam, don't panic. Okay, me and this little boy, we are playing a game. Okay, we are playing a game where I am acting as a where I am acting as a old hand. Okay, and here we are carrying a lantern through that lantern we can see the whole Philistine area. Philistine is a country. Okay, I hope my dear student you all know about Philistine. Okay, so through this lantern we can view the whole Philistine country. Okay. Yes, sir. That boy seemed to be having the time of his life. The fun of camping out in a cave had made him forget that he was captive himself. He immediately questioned me. Snake Eye, the spy, announced that when his braves returned from the warpath, I was to be brewed at the stack at the rising of the sun. Okay, now Bill is saying, yes, Sam, that boy was totally forget that he was kidnapped. Even he was enjoying, okay, even this little boy is enjoying his kidnapping phase. Okay, he was totally enjoying. Okay, he is saying that when his spies, when his army will return, okay, when his army will return, they are going to celebrate their victory. Okay, then we had a supper and he filled his mouth full of bacon and bread and gravy and began to talk. He made a during dinner speech, something like this. Okay, now after this, Bill, Sam, and that little boy had their supper. Supper means evening snack. Okay, they have their evening snack, and in evening snack they have bacon, bread, and gravy. Now, what is the meaning of bacon? Bacon means pig meat. Okay, bacon means meat of pig. Okay, so in their evening snack they have a piece of bread, they have a piece of bacon, and as well as gravy. I like this fine. I never camped out before, but I had a pet possum once and I was 9 last birthday. I had to go to school. Rats ate up 16 of Jimmy Talbot's aunt's speckled hen's egg. Now that little boy is saying, okay, now he is narrating his story. He is saying that, see, actually I'm enjoying this period of my life because in my entire period I never campaigned. Okay, I never campaigned. I never have seen such kind of bonfire in front of me. Okay, I'm enjoying a lot. Okay, you know what? When I was 9 at my last birthday, I got a possum. Okay, I got a pet possum, but yes, I got a pet possum. And you know what? Both of you, I really hate going to school. I don't like go to school. I don't like to do my homeworks. Okay. Are there any real Indians in this oats? I want some more gravy. Does the trees moving make the winds blow? Okay. See, that boy was continuously speaking. He was continuously asking so many questions to Bill and Sam. He is asking that, okay, can you please tell me in this forest area, in the middle of this oats, are there any real Indians reside? Can you please tell me? Okay, but see. Right now, I also want some more gravy. Please give me some more gravy to eat because this gravy is so much delicious in taste. Okay, okay. Or can you also tell me why trees are moving when wind is blowing? Can you please tell me the logic behind winds are blowing and trees are moving? Okay, can you please tell me the logic behind it? We had 5 puppies. What makes your nose so red, Hank? Okay, now that boy is continuously asking so many questions. He was telling that, see, at my home, I have total 5 puppies. Okay, old Hank, can you please tell me why your nose is so red in color? My father has lots of money. Are the stars hot? I whipped Ed Walker twice Saturday. I don't like girls. You doesn't catch toads unless with a string. Do oxen make any noise? Now that boy is saying, you know what, my father is a very rich person, okay? My father has a lot of money. Okay, or can you please tell me why those stars are blinking? Those are the hot ball of fire? Okay, see, I have seen Ed Walker twice, means two times on a single day. Okay, and you know what? I really hate girls. Just like I hate school, I really hate girls. Okay, or can you please give the answer of my question that oxens? Okay, oxens make any noise? Why are oranges round? Okay, now you have to give me the answer of my next question. Can you please tell me why oranges are round in shape? Have you got beds to sleep on in this cave? Amos Murray has got 6 toes. A parrot can talk, but a monkey or a fish can't. How many does it take to make 12? Okay. So, can you please tell me how we are going to sleep in this cave? Because in this cave we don't have any kind of bed. Or can you please tell me why among all animals parrots can only talk just like human beings? Why not monkey or fishes can't? Why they can't talk? Okay. Okay, or can you please give me the last answer of my question, that what number we are going to add to get 12? Okay, so you can see, my dear student, that boy was so mischievous that in a single breath, he asked so many questions. Okay, every few minutes, he would remember that he was a pesky redskin and pick up his stick rifle and tiptoe to the mouth of the cave to rubber for the scouts of the hated paleface. Now and then he would let out a war whoop that made old Hank the trapper shiver. That boy had built terrorized from the start. Okay, now you can see within a span of few minutes, immediately that little boy went in the front of the cave. Okay, just by taking his fake rifle. Okay, because he was waiting for his fake army, because that boy was playing a game with Bill and Sam. Okay, Red Chief says I to the kid, would you like to go home? Now Bill was totally irritated with this boy. He immediately asked, Red Chief, can you please tell me right now, would you like to go to your home? Ah, what for? Says he. I don't I don't have any fun at home. I hate to go to school. I like to camp out. You won't take me back home again, Snake Eye, will you? Now that boy said, oh, what you are saying? What rubbish you are talking? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to go to school. Okay, I really don't want to go to school. Sorry, I really don't want to go to home. I really hate going to school. Okay, come on, tell me. You are not going to drop me at my home. Okay, Snake Eye, because that little boy, the name of that boy was John. Okay, John was calling Snake Eye to Bill. Okay, now not right away, says I. We will stay here in the cave a while. Okay, Bill said, no, 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 you don't have to be worried. Not right now. I'm going to drop you at your home, but after some time. Okay, but after some time, I'm going to drop you at your home. All right, says he. That will be fine. I never had such fun in all my life. Okay, so John, that boy said, okay, no problem. But really, really, I enjoyed a lot. My really, I enjoyed this period of time because I have never witnessed so much enjoyment in my life. We went to bed about 11 o'clock. We spread down some white blankets and quilts and put Red Chief between us. We weren't afraid he would run away. He kept us awake for 3 hours, jumping up and reaching for his rifle and screeching hissed part in mine and Bill's ear as the fence-sized crackle of a twig or the rustle of a leaf revealed to his young imagination the stealthy approach of the outlaw band. At last, I fell into a troubled sleep and dreamed that I had been kidnapped and chained to a tree by a ferocious pirate with red hair. Okay, now you can see after so much effort. Okay, after putting so much effort, finally Bill and Sam was succeeded putting Red Chief, means that little boy, to sleep. Okay, but you know what? When Bill fall asleep, he immediately saw a dream, and in his dream, he saw that he was kidnapped by a person who have a red color of hair. Okay, just at daybreak, I was awakened by a series of awful screams from Bill They weren't yells or howls or shouts or whoops or yaps such as you'd expect for a manly set of vocal organs. They were simply indecent, terrifying, humiliating screams, such as women emit when they see ghosts or caterpillars. It's an awful thing to hear a strong, desperate, fat man scream incontinently in a cave at daybreak. Okay, now after some time, Sam heard a manly voice that a man was screaming in pain. Okay, immediately Sam woke from his sleep. I jumped up to see what the matter was. Red Chief was sitting on Bill's chest with one hand twinned in Bill's hair. In the other, he had the sharp case knife we used for slicing bacon, and he was industriously and realistically trying to take Bill's scalp according to the sentence that had been pronounced upon him the evening before. Okay, now when Sam was awake from his sleep, he immediately saw that little boy was sitting on the chest of Bill, and he was taking a knife. Okay, he was taken a knife in his hand, and he was going to punish Bill. I got the knife away from the kid and made him lie down again. But from that moment, Bill's spirit was broken. Immediately Sam took that knife from the hand of that little boy. But you know what? Bill was traumatized. Okay, Bill was totally traumatized with this whole incident. He lay down on his side of the bed, but he never closed an eye again in sleep as long as that boy was with us. And you know what? He was so much traumatized that after this incident, Bill never drifted to sleep. Okay, continuously his eyes were open. Okay. I dozed off for a while, but along towards sun up, I remembered that Red Chief had said I was to be burned at the stack at the rising of the sun. I wasn't nervous or afraid, but I sat up and lit my pipe and leaned against a rock. Okay, if Bill was awake throughout the entire night, Sam was also awake. Okay, because the terror this little boy created in the heart and mind of Bill and Sam was really scared. Okay, they are feeling that we are not a kidnapper, but this little boy was a kidnapper, and this little boy kidnapped both of us. Okay, what you getting up so soon for, Sam asked Bill. Me, say I. Oh, I got a kind of pain in my shoulders. I thought sitting up would rest it. Okay, so immediately Bill asked, Sam, why you were awake so early in the morning? Okay, so immediately Sam said, me. Oh, you know what? I have a pain in my shoulder. Okay, that's why I'm thinking if I awake and sit down, then I'm going to relieve from this stress. You are a liar, says Bill. You are afraid. You was to be burned at sunrise, and you was afraid he would do it, and he would too if he could find a match. And it's awful, Sam. Do you think anybody will pay out money to get a little imp like that back home? Actually, this chapter is really funny. See, Bill immediately said, Sam, you are thinking that I'm a fool. You are a liar. You are telling a lie. Okay, you know what? If that boy was taking a knife in his hand and he was going to bald me, okay, if he was going to take all of my hair from my scalp, and this incident made you very much scared, that's why you are thinking maybe if that boy got a matchbox or matchstick, he's going to burn you. Okay, because according to the punishment, okay, see, both Bill and Sam are going to got a punishment according to the play, and the Bill punishment is that he has to be bald. Okay, he has to be bald. Okay, and Sam, what kind of punishment he got? According to the punishment, Sam was going to be burned alive in the first ray of sun. Okay, so that's why both Bill and Sam are awake throughout the entire night. Okay, so immediately Bill said, you are telling a lie. Okay, you know what, you are terrified. Okay, you know what, you are terrified because if that little boy got a matchstick, he is going to burn you immediately. Sure, I said, a rowdy kid like that is just the kind that parents dote on. Now you and the chief got up and cooked breakfast while I go up on the top of this mountain and read corner tree. Okay, so immediately Sam said, yes, you know what, this kind of rowdy child can do anything. Okay, now what you have to do, use Bill and Chief. Okay, you and Chief, you have to make a breakfast. And now I'm going to yes, and now I'm going to the top of the mountain area. I went up on the peak of a little mountain and run my eye over the contiguous vicinity. Over towards summit, I expected to see the sturdy yeomanry of the village armed with scythes and pitchforks beating the courtyard from the dastardly kidnappers. But what I saw was a peaceful landscape dotted with one man plowing with a dune mule. Nobody was dragging the creek. No courier no couriers dashed hither and yon, bringing tidings of no news of her distracted parents. There was a sullen attitude of somnolent sleepiness pervading that section of the external outward surface of Alabama that lay exposed to my view. Perhaps, says I to myself, it has not been yet discovered that the wolves have borne away the tender lambkin in the fold. Heaven held the wolves, says I, and I went down the mountain to breakfast. Okay, now you can see when Sam go on the top of the mountain, he was thinking that in the entire city area, in the entire area of Alabama, the kidnapping news will be spread just like a fire spread in the entire forest. But you know what? When Sam witnessed that nobody is totally distracted with the news of this kidnapping. Okay, everyone was doing their household work, everyone is doing their everyday course. Okay, he saw that some person were working in the in their farm fields. Okay, some are working in the bazaar area and all. Okay, and they are behaving in this way that this kidnapping news hadn't affected them so much. Okay, so immediately Sam thought, okay, now God, please help wolf. Here, my dear student, for whom wolf words are used? For kidnapping, for kidnappers. Okay, Sam is saying me and Bill are like wolves, okay, who attacked on that kid, and we kidnapped that kid. But you know what? That kid, the parent of that kids are not really bothered. Even I hope the parent of that kid were really very happy that finally for some time the trouble was gone. Okay, when I got to the cave, I found Bill backed up against the side of it, breathing hard, and the boy threatening to smash him with a rock half as big as a coconut. So here you can see, my dear student, in this picture. Okay, here is a Sam and this is Bill. Okay, so when Sam came back in the cave area, he immediately saw that little boy was carrying a heavy piece of rock, and now he is going to smash the back or head of Bill. He put a red-hot boiled potato down my back, explained Bill, and then smashed it with his foot and boxed his ear. Have you got a gun about you, Sam? Okay. Now, Bill is saying that this little boy has put a hot boiled potato on his back and smashed that potato with his own feet. I took the rock away from the boy and kind of patched up the argument. I will fix you, says the kid to Bill. No man ever yet struck the red chip but what he got paid for it. You better be aware. Okay, now that boy is saying, see, you boy, now this little boy is saying to Mr. Bill that, see, I'm going to give you punishment because nobody is spared. Everyone have to bear their punishment for their crime. Okay, because this little boy is thinking himself as a red chief. Okay, after breakfast the kid takes a piece of leather with strings wrapped around it out of his pocket and goes outside the cave unwielding it. And after this incident, both Sam and Bill and this boy finish their breakfast. And after finishing their breakfast, this kid take a piece of leather piece. Okay, and that leather piece is wrapped. Okay, this leather piece is wrapped with strings. Okay, after finishing their breakfast, that kid picked a piece of leather. Okay, picked a piece of leather from his pocket. What's he up to now, says Bill anxiously. You don't think he will run away, do you, Sam? Okay, so after witnessing this thing, Bill immediately in a terrified tone, asked to Sam, Sam, can you please tell me now what? Now what this boy is going to do? No fear of it, says I. He doesn't seem to be much of a homebody, but we have got to fix up some plan about the ransom. There don't seem to be much excitement around Summit on account of his disappearance, but maybe they haven't realized yet that he is gone. His folks may think he is spending the night with Aunt Jane or one of the neighbors. Anyhow, he will be missed today. Tonight, we must get a message to his father demanding the $2,000 for his return. So immediately Sam said, you don't need to be feared. Okay, you don't need to be scared. Okay, you know what? In the Alabama state where that boy used to live, nobody think that this boy is kidnapped. They are thinking that this boy is staying with his Aunt Jane, or maybe he was staying in any one of his neighbor's house. But you know what? By the end of today, we are going to send a message to his father, and we are going to demand a ransom amount of $2,000 from his father. But just then we heard a kind of war whoop such as a David might have emitted when he knocked out the champion Goliath. It was a sling that Red Chief had pulled out of his pocket, and he was whirling it around his head. I dodged and heard a heavy thud and a kind of sigh from Bill, like a horse gives out when you take his saddle off. A Niger head rock the size of an egg had caught Bill just behind his left egg. He loosened himself all over and fell in the fire across the frying pan of hot water for washing the dishes. I dragged him out and poured cold water on his head for half an hour. Okay. So when Bill and Sam are discussing this thing in between them, immediately Sam heard a screaming noise of Bill. And why Bill screamed? Because that little boy put a hot thing, okay, behind the ears of Bill. So immediately Sam put some cold water to soothe, okay, to soothe the injured area of Bill. By and by, Bill sits up and feels behind his ears and says, Sam, do you know who my favorite biblical character is? Okay, and after this incident, immediately Bill sit and said, Sam, can you please tell me, which is my favorite character from biblical? Biblical means Bill is asking that who was his favorite character from Bible. Okay, take it easy, says I. You will come to your senses presently. Now Sam was thinking that Bill lost his mind because that little boy John was continuously troubling Bill, and Sam is thinking that Bill lost his mind. So immediately Sam said, Bill, take it easy. Okay, you are not losing your mind. Just take it easy. King Herod, says he, you won't go away and leave me here alone, will you, Sam? I went out and caught that boy and shook him until his freckles rattled. If you don't behave, say I will take you straight home. Now, are you going to be good or not? I was only funning, says he sullenly. I didn't mean to hurt old Hank, but what did he hit me for? I will behave, Snake Eye, if you won't send me home and if you will let me play the Black Scout today. So Bill said, you know what? King Herod was a favorite biblical character. I hope, my dear student, you know who was King Herod. Okay, King Herod was a very famous character included in Bible, and Bible is a holy book of Christian. Okay, even you know what? There is a myth. Okay, like I said, there is a phrase related to King Herod that once upon a time he ordered a great massacre. Okay, of for killing 200 boys under 2 years of age. Yes, I really don't know it is true or it's a myth only, because this myth is related with King Herod in Bible. Okay, now when Sam heard such kind of illogical things from the mouth of Bill, immediately Sam went in the direction of John, and immediately by taking him in his hands, he said, Now come on, tell me, you little boy, okay, are you behaving right now or not? Okay, are you going to behave in a well mannered or not? Okay, because if you are not going to behave in a well mannered, immediately right now I'm going to take you at your home and we will drop you at your home. So that boy said, no, 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 please don't do this with me. I was not serious. I'm just playing a fun game with him. Okay, I'm just playing a fun game with him. I don't have any kind of intention to hurt Mr. Old Honk. Now, who was Mr. Old Hank? Bill. Okay, because this boy is playing a game, and in this game, the role which Bill was playing was belonged to Mr. Old Hank. Okay, I don't know the game, says I. That's for you and Mr. Bill to decide. He is your playmate for the day. I'm going away for a while on business. Now you come in, I make friend with him and say you are sorry for hunting him or home. You go at once. I made him and Bill shake hands, and then I took Bill aside and told him I was going to Poplar Cave, a little village 3 miles from the cave, and find out what I could about how the kidnapping had been regarded in Summit. Also, I thought it best to send a peremptory letter to Old Man Dorset that day demanding the ransom and dictating how it should be paid. Okay. So this boy said sorry to Mr. Bell, and after saying sorry, he shook a handshake with Mr. Bell. Okay, and now Sam. Okay, now Sam is telling to Bill, say, Bill, now you have to take care of this little boy. Okay, I'm going. Okay, I'm going in the summit area, and I'm going to see. I'm going to meet the father of this little boy, and in return of this little boy, we are going to demand $2,000. Okay, as in ransom money. You know, Sam, says Bill, I have stood by you without batting an eye in earthquakes, fire, and flood in poker games, dynamites, outrage, police raids, train robberies, and cyclones. I never lost my nerve yet till we kidnapped that two-legged skyrocket of the kid. Okay, you can see here. Bill was so much terrified that he immediately said, Sam, you know what? Okay, Sam, you know what? We are best friends. Okay, in every problem, I supported you. Maybe in the form of earthquake, maybe in the fire, maybe in the form of fire. Okay, maybe in the form of flood, or maybe in the case when we have robbed the train. I always supported you. Okay, okay, I never lost my mind, but now I never lost my mind in any kind of all these incidents. But now but now, from when we kidnapped this little boy, I lost my mind. He got me going. You won't leave me long with him, will you, Sam? Okay, now this boy is getting in my nerves. Okay, now promise me, Sam, you are not going to leave me with this little boy for longer duration of time. I will be back sometime this afternoon, says I. You must keep the boy amused and quiet till I return. And now we will write the letters to old Dorset. Okay. So Sam said, I promise you, I will came back after some time. Okay. And after that, we are going to write a letter to Mr. Dorset. Bill and I got paper and pencil and worked on the letter while Red Chief, with a blanket wrapped around it, strutted up and down, guarding the mouth of the cave. Bill begged me tearfully to make the ransom $1,500 instead of 2,000. Okay. Now Bill and Sam got a paper and pencil, and now they have started writing letter. Okay. And that little boy. Okay. That little boy was playing. Okay. And that little boy was playing a game in the front of the cave. Okay. And after seeing that boy, Bill immediately requested to Sam, Sam, please, we are not going to demand $2,000 from his father. Even we are going to demand only $15,000, only $1,500. Sorry, only $1,500 from his father. I ain't attempting, says he, to decry the celebrated moral aspect of parental affection, but we are dealing with humans, and it ain't human for anybody to give up $2,000 for that 40-pound chunk of frickled wildcat. I'm willing to take a chance at $1,500. You can charge the difference up to me. Okay. Now Bill is saying that, Sam, please ask only $1,500 from his father, because here we are dealing with a very naughty child, and I'm not going to bear this child for so longer duration of time. That's why I'm requesting you charge only $1,500 from his father, and rest of the amount I'm going to pay you. Okay. See, this chapter is taken as an excerpt from the Ransom of Red Chief by O. Henry. Okay, okay, my dear student, I hope you all got a very good understanding of this chapter. See, this chapter is totally based on kidnapping. You know what? We always afraid of kidnappers. Oh my God, we are kidnapped. But you know what? In this chapter, that 10-year-old boy named John, okay, he he made to beg, okay, he made to beg Sam and Bill, the great kidnappers, in front of him. Okay, because he was so mischievous. Okay, he was so fun loving. Okay, now these two kidnappers, they are thinking that they are going to demand $2,000 from his father. But at the end of the day, they are going to demand only $1,500 from his father. Okay, because that boy came as a nightmare for them. Okay, now come with me and let's see the word meanings which we have seen in this chapter. Undeleterious means not harmful or damaging or benign. Undeleterious means not harmful thing. Apparition, a supernatural appearance or manifestation of a person or thing, especially a ghost. Apparition means supernatural appearance in the form of ghost. Fancite, imagined or believed without sufficient evidence, supposed. Fancite means your imagination. When you think any kind of imaginative story, okay? Diatribe, a forceful and bitter verbal attack or criticism. Diatribe means whenever you are criticizing anyone. Salivon, related to or characteristics of the woods or forest odor. Salivon means it is a characteristics, okay? It is a characteristics of the woods. Somnolent, sleepy or drowsy, inducing sleep. Somnolent means whenever you are feeling sleepy. Reconnoitry means to make a military observation, especially to locate an enemy or ascertain strategic features. Okay, reconnoitry means military observation. Okay, peremptory means insisting on immediate attention or obedience. Brushing. Peremptory means whenever you are demanding any kind of immediate attention on any particular topic. Decay, to express strong disapproval or criticize. Decry means whenever you are opposing something so hardly. Okay. Wildcat, a term used to describe something or someone untamed, unruly, or unconventional. In this context, it refers to the boy. Okay, my dear student. Okay, so in this way, we have completed our chapter number 1. Okay, I hope, my dear student, you all got a very good understanding of this chapter. Okay, now what you have to do, just go thoroughly through this chapter and complete all the exercise based on this chapter. Okay, now I'm taking leave and going to meet with you all in our next class with a new chapter. Till then, my dear students, you have to take very good care of yourself. Bye.